So the dentist, right? So as an industry or as an educational group or whatever you want to call dentists, they tend to do a really, really good job on the value ladder. And it's kind of unique to them. There aren't many small businesses that do the value ladder as well as they do. And dentists are like routinely clearing like $300,000 a year after like taxes, tag, title, insurance, employees, salaries, mortgage, all that stuff. And the reason is because they use the value ladder innately. So I'm going to talk to you about the value ladder for dentists and how you can apply it to yours. So in this example, the dentist is getting 27 times more dollars using a value ladder than if they didn't use the value ladder. So this is how dentists use the value ladder to grow their business. So they have a teeth cleaning for $30. They have a teeth whitening for $200. They have a retainer for $375. Braces for $2,500. Root canals for $3,000. And then $20K for all in four. I think all in four is when they just take out everything out of your mouth and put in new fake teeth. I'm not really sure why they call it all in four or four in all or whatever it is, right? But you understand like the dollars are moving up and the value the dentist provides moving up. So the way it'll work is the dentist will do like an advertising or promotion or like a Facebook ad or something like that to get 90 people into the business, specifically there for the teeth cleaning. And you know that song and dance that they do where the dentist says like, hey, nice to meet you, my name is Jeff, and blah, 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 blah. And you know, have you ever thought about the reasons why your teeth are prematurely whitening? Do you drink a lot of coffee? Do you smoke a lot of cigarettes? Is this why your teeth are yellowing prematurely? The dentist will give that sales pitch to all 90 of these people. And the dentist knows that a certain percentage of them will say, yeah, I'm in, let's do the teeth whitening. In this example, 45 people end up getting the teeth whitening. Then the dentist gives that sales pitch to everyone who's done the teeth whitening and says, you know, it looks like you had a retainer or you had braces. That was like a $10,000 investment. Do you still have your retainer? Everybody says no because they lost an undergrad at college like I did. And some people say, yeah, give me the retainer too. In this case, 20 people say, give me the retainer. From there, braces, root canals, and all in four, all the way up the chain. Now the dentist has effectively made $75,000 having this value ladder versus $27 without having this value ladder. That's a difference of 27 times revenue. Now, if this dentist did not have a value ladder, they could not be in business doing only whitenings. They would only make $2,700. But because they have this value ladder, all of a sudden they can stay in business, make a profit, and better serve their employees and customers by making $74,000, or $75 if you want to be like even about it. That's a great example of the dentist. But what I want to do is show you other examples of how other big businesses or just big businesses use the value ladder. And we're going to start off with Apple. Apple is a $600 billion company. And a lot of people genuinely believe that Apple will be the first $1 trillion company. But what's interesting is Apple almost went bankrupt. Like a long time ago, like pre-Steve Jobs, Apple almost went bankrupt. And right around that time, Apple only had this product right here, the iMac. That's their like desktop. They only had that product. And if you wanted to experience how great Apple was in their company and their culture and their products and their services, you had to pay between $3,000 and $4,000 just to get started with them. If you didn't pay the $3,000 or $4,000, you couldn't be part of Apple. End of discussion. And for a lot of people, they were unwilling to pay that $3,000 to $4,000. There were a lot of other options. I'm not willing to do it. Too bad for Apple. Their inflection point, the thing that made them go like this with their revenues, was the introduction of the iPod. Oh, down here, right? Was the iPod. That was kind of revolutionary. You still had the click wheel and things like that. I think it retailed for like $400. So now, if you wanted to experience Apple, you could do it not for $4,000, but for $400. That started their trajectory here. And ever since then, they've been executing the value ladder to a T. You see, when they only had the iMac, you couldn't move up or down the value ladder. You couldn't go from root canals to all-in-fours, and you couldn't start off at the teeth cleaning. But now you can. Apple has the iMac, the Mac Pro, the iPhone, the iPad, the iWatch, the iPod, and now they have the earbud things or whatever they're called. For effectively $79, a brand new person can experience how great Apple's services are and their products are and slowly climb up the chain. That was their inflection point. That was the introduction of their value ladder. I'm going to give you another example of how big companies use the value ladder. BMW. It's really obvious. 1 series, 2 series, 3 series, 5 series, 6, and 7. It's simple. It's easy. So imagine that if I'm a 32-year-old millennial that drives, I don't know, like a 5 series and has like extra $50,000, which I don't have. But if I did, and I was that type of like BMW person, the person that wears like the Bluetooth and a tie for no reason at all, you know what I'm talking about. If I was here and all of a sudden I came into a bunch of money, and if BMW didn't have a 6 or a 7, what would I do? I can't climb that mountain anymore. I can't be naturally curious about their other products and services. If I wanted to upgrade, I'd have to leave BMW. But BMW has a 6 series and a 7 series, so I can ride that wave up. Take the opposite. Let's say I'm a 22-year-old that really likes BMWs, but I don't have that much money to drop. I can come in on here, and BMW can ride my financial growth all the way up while keeping me as a valued customer. That's the benefit of a value ladder. Here's an example of how small business does it. This is generic, but you can kind of get the idea. For restaurants, they have happy hours. They have lunch specials. Dinner, groups, so like office people, like 5 or 6 of them will all go. You can have your event there or even rent the whole space. This is how there's a natural inclination of the dollars and products and services that people spend with at a restaurant. Now, if you were to go to your boss and say, hey, I've never heard of this restaurant, I've never been there, I've never seen an ad, I've never experienced it, but we should spend $10,000 on renting their space, your boss would go, are you crazy? We're not going to do it. You've never been there, you've never even looked at it. But if as the restaurant owner, you had this value ladder where you had enough people coming in for happy hour, lunch, dinner, group, and events, all of a sudden the boss is saying, yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I've been there. Let's just rent their whole space for our corporate function. Restaurants. Now, value ladders are super impactful and super important, but as a small business, you can always kind of like struggle with the idea of, yeah, but it's not for me, or we're too unique, or that's not really something we offer or provide, or no, I don't have to. And I go, yes, you do. And you need one, and you have to have one for your business to grow, not just survive, but to grow. And so we did a value ladder for Shelley Bloomfield. It's a tailor in Wynwood. He's been there for like 40 years. Like before Wynwood was cool, like he's been there since day one. He's really colorful. He's got a really interesting background. And I ended up buying a suit from him. And we were talking for like an hour and a half because that's like what he does. He enjoys those conversations. And I said, Shelley, so what exactly do you sell here? He says, we sell suits. And that's all we sell. And I said, so if somebody wanted to experience Shelley Bloomfield, what would they do? He said they have to buy a suit. Now the problem is Shelley Bloomfield suits are $2,000, which is really expensive. So a whole generation of people between, I guess you could say, 16 and 22 are unwilling to put $2,000 in. As a result, he's missing out on a generation of people that could buy their services. So we created a value ladder. We start off at the top. I said, Shelley, what's the most expensive product you have? He says, a suit. I said, no, the most expensive is 2 suits because people want like a black suit and a blue suit or a navy suit or gray charcoal or whatever. Most people get 2. So it's really all the way up here. Then you have your normal suit. And I said, Shelley, reverse engineer this. If I'm brand new and I want to experience Shelley Bloomfield as a company and a culture, how do I start? He says, well, you start off with the cufflinks. These cufflinks are $75. Well within the range of somebody who takes fashion seriously or is interested in getting, I guess, on that journey and on that path to be a professional. I said, what's after that? He goes, a shirt. Those are $300 shirts. These shirts are really the first shirt you'll own forever type shirts. Like they're really high quality. They will never rip or break. They come with like a lifetime warranty. Like they're amazing shirts. Next up is pants. Next up is belt. Next up is suit. So you see pretty quickly how the narrative has changed with his company and his culture and his employees. Instead of saying we only sell suits up here, kind of like what Apple was doing when they only sold iMacs, very quickly he can now create a narrative with his customers that say, we're in it on your journey. Regardless of where your price point is, we can effectively clothe you for the job that you want and the company you want to work for, whether you only have $75 or $4,000. Somebody can come in down here and naturally move up. Now, a big drive that we do here is like you got to eat your own cooking, and it would be crazy for us to like push this to other businesses if we don't do it ourselves. So we have a value ladder. We start off with these educational videos. You can see us, interact with us, leave comments, emails, all the fun stuff, and get a taste for what we do. This is how you get involved. We have a paid newsletter that goes out to small businesses all across the United States that provides value and actionable and executable ideas for their business to grow. We have a private Facebook group that you have to pay to be part of. You can interact with people in real time. We have educational courses that will teach you how to run Facebook funnels and value ladders in more detail. We can talk about the right way to sales and market your business to your types of customers, things like that. We even have YouTube tutorials on how to develop sales and leads from awesome videos you can do in your backyard as a small business. You can hire us to do the work for you. And we even have an inner circle up here, which is our, I guess you could call it the best way we serve our customers, which is when you work with the senior leadership of the company on specifically growing your business and better serving your customers. We get people down here, and they naturally move up. This product up here is how we best serve our customers. But nobody's gonna hire us without going through here. The tailor, $4,000 suits. Very few people are gonna walk into a brand new tailor they've never met and spend $4,000. This is how he best serves his customers, but this is that climb. The same way you wouldn't rent out a restaurant without being there first, you wouldn't buy a 7 Series without at least trying out the car, and you would not buy a Mac Pro without at least being part of the Apple ecosystem and trying out their products and services. It's the same way with your business. I'll bet you're trying to sell all the way up here without establishing this value ladder first. So here's your homework. I want you to create your own value ladder. And I know it's gonna be hard, and I know it's gonna be a challenge, but you need to do it anyway because it's instrumental to your business having this inflection point. At the top of your business value ladder, all the way up here, you're gonna put the best way you serve your customers. Whether it's working with them one-on-one like with us, or selling suits, or renting our facilities, whatever it is, all the way up here, this is the most expensive product that you have, the way you best serve your customers. Down here is how you get them involved, how you give them a taste of what you have to offer. If you're a restaurant, that's happy hour. If you're a digital marketing studio like us, it's video. If you're BMW, it's your 1 Series. And then craft a make sense structure to your products. Cufflinks, shirts, pants, belt, video, newsletter, paid Facebook group. Figure out your 1 Series, your 2 Series, or 3 Series that leads up to your 7 Series. So I want you to create that and send it to us. You can get the subject line and the email beneath this video or included somewhere in the chat. But this will single-handedly be the next best step for your business because you'll get the inflection point. So send us an email with your value ladder. We'll review it, we'll respond, and you can get a taste of how we interact and actually climb this value chain with us so you can apply it to your own business. So that's it. Thanks so much, and see you next video.